dead. They want us killed.
And so part of it.
How is it allowed? How are you allowing this? Why aren't you putting us down? They want us dead. Please end it, please.
This isn't about what happened on the weekend. Why can't they just go up there?
I don't get how people are still confused about this. This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com. TatumStore.com. Get the merch link in the description section. Get you one of these shirts. Yahweh, Yahweh. Get the link in the description section. This is my favorite shirt I've created. And obviously people know that I got Hebrew on my arm. I got it in Jerusalem when I was out in Israel. And it was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had in my life. I just loved Israel. I could live in Israel, to be honest. But I'm sad, it's sad that this stuff has happened. But get you one of these shirts if you like it, if you want to represent Yahweh, if you like the Hebrew letters, go ahead and get it. If you don't want it, then don't get it. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bells and get notification anytime I go live, make a video. Make sure you still subscribe to this channel. Like this video, comment this video, share this video. Let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, I've been waiting all weekend to say what I'm about to say right now. It is mind-blowing to me. And I understand both sides, but it is mind-blowing to me that people don't understand the truth. There are people that believe the Palestinians were done wrong by, the Israelis, by the Jews, and that they deserve to fight back and recover their land. But brother, like, what planet are we living on? The Jews were there first anyway. So if you want to come up with a tactic or you want to come up with a theology to say whose land it is and who stole what from what, the Jewish people had it way before anybody else. That's like, listen, and I know this will never happen because there's repercussions for it. If we take over a certain person's land and they want to come back and get it, good luck. America's not giving it back. It's ours now. So if you were here 100 years before us or whatever the case may be, you ain't getting it back. But with the Jewish people and the Arabics and the Arabians or whatever you want to call it, these people that come from that region, Palestinians specifically in that particular state, in that country, the Jews were there before you anyway. So I don't know why people even arguing this. And people talk about these atrocities that the Jews are doing. Like, show me a video. Show me a video. I'll be fine. I'll shut my mouth. Show me a video of them paragliding in Gaza and just offing people for no reason. Show me videos of them. There was this theory that they say deep in the night when the IDF, the Israeli military force, would just, when there's curfew, they just shoot Palestinian kids for no reason, or because they're out for curfew and they can do it, so they shoot them anyway. Show me the video. And this is the thing that bothers me too, is that this is not an even playing field. There is no, we need to have sympathy for both sides. Listen, I understand the innocent element, but this is not the same. These people are lobbing bombs into Israel. Just say that there was no Iron Dome. What do you think? What are they doing? Shoot in the air and then they're going to turn around and go in the ocean? They would just obliterate Israel if there was no Iron Dome. They would literally shoot thousands of missiles, indiscriminately killing all kinds of people, even their people. Because there's a lot of Palestinians, hundreds of thousands of Palestinians work in Israel, right alongside the Jewish people, right alongside Israelis. I was there. I was in Israel. I saw it. Every hotel we stayed at, there were Muslim people who were there working alongside the Jewish people. And then in Shabbat, when Jews weren't working, the Palestinian people, the Muslim, they worked. They worked they worked when the Jews didn't work. These people have been working together. Now, I'm sure there's a tremendous conflict, but by and large, in Jerusalem, the markets are the Muslim markets and the Jewish markets. I mean, the people are like this. You go to the Wailing Wall. Above the Wailing Wall on the Temple Mount is the mosque. And there the Muslim people are there. The Jews are down here. People walking past each other all day long. They just crossing paths. Hamas don't care. They shoot missiles and kill everybody. They will obliterate Israel if Israel did not fight back. Now, with that being said, I don't understand how people are like, free Palestine. Let me tell you what that actually means, in my opinion. And I'm not a big person on everything is anti-Semitic. But what it means is that they never say free Palestine from Hamas. Hamas is a terrorist group. Hamas oppresses their people. Hamas doesn't give their people opportunities. Israel gives people opportunities from Palestine. That's why hundreds of thousands of them work in Israel. What is Hamas doing? What is all the other surrounding Muslim countries doing for people in Hamas? The people in Gaza, people in the West Bank. People are now asked to leave Gaza. Where are they going to go? Egyptians won't take them. Jordanians won't take them. They obviously ain't going to get up to Syria or Lebanon. These other Muslim communities aren't taking them. They're not supporting them. They're not doing anything for them. So why don't you say free Palestine from Islam? Free Palestine from Hamas. But no, they want to free Palestine from Israel. That means they want to obliterate Israel. And they want Palestine to take over the entire land. And they want Israelis to be off the face of the earth. That's what they mean when they say that. Now, here's the conflict that has been going on. Candace Owens was involved in it. Vivek Ramaswamy is involved in it. Megyn Kelly is involved in it. And let me tell you what it is. And we got video clips to match all of this stuff.
And a war has broken out by two conservative commentators. Let's go and put this up there on the screen. First was from Megyn Kelly. She was actually responding to something from Vivek Ramaswamy, which we'll show you. But she effectively is saying, quote, that it is unable to persuade college students that, quote, murdering babies is wrong. There's no persuading them. We don't hire those who do the killing, and we don't hire those who applaud killers while the savagery is underway. If you are open to hiring one of those lunatics, though, good to know. This actually was responded to by Candace Owens. So let's put this up there on the screen. This is an important corollary to her discourse. She says, "Oh, stop it. This is incredibly disingenuous, Megyn. You know that many of those students are not out there because they want babies to be murdered. College kids are stupid. I used to be radically pro-choice. I'm glad I didn't get put on a conservative blacklist for wanting babies murdered. As it turned out, I was just young and temporarily brainwashed from a public school education, coupled with mainstream Hollywood lies, and not because I legitimately wanted to see infants torn from their mother's wombs. Dr. Thomas Sowell used to be a radical socialist who ardently supported communism. Thankfully, he wasn't put on a conservative blacklist, and he was accused of being a person who wanted worldwide suffering and starvation, as socialism and communism bring. Students are young and experimenting. You're an adult woman who is advocating for their lives to be permanently pigeonholed because they have the wrong ideas, which they are likely being spoon-fed in the classroom." All of this was sparked by Vivek Ramaswamy, presidential candidate. Let's put this up there on the screen. He put out this statement, quote, "The Harvard students who co-sign the anti-Israel letter are simple fools, but it is not productive for companies to blacklist kids for being members of student groups that make dumb political statements on campus. Colleges are spaces for students to experiment with ideas, and sometimes kids join clubs that endorse boneheadedly wrong ideas. I have been as vocal as anyone in criticizing left-wing cancel culture, but it is bad no matter who practices it. It wasn't great when people were wearing Trump hats were fired from work, and it wasn't great when college graduates couldn't get hired unless they signed oppressive DEI pledges. It's not great now if companies refuse to hire kids who are part of student groups that once adopted the wrong views on Israel. This is not a legal point, it's a cultural point. I say this as someone who vehemently disagrees with those student groups. Those calling for blacklisting students right now are responding from a place of understandable hurt, but I am confident that in the fullness of time, they will agree with me on the wisdom of avoiding these cancel culture tactics."
What happened was there's protesters on campus that's saying free Palestinians, and they're supporting Hamas. I think even in one group of protesting college students who are all ignorant and stupid, to be honest, they just get brainwashed all day. They end up signing some document in support of Hamas and in support of Palestinians. And so companies and investment companies, businesses were saying, we're going to blacklist them. We're not going to hire any one of these people that are signing this contract. And of course, Vivek Ramaswamy says that he don't agree because it's a slippery slope. It's like saying, you know, if you supported Trump, you're blacklisted. And I get what he's saying, but I also think this is different. Candace Owens and Megyn Kelly went at it on Twitter. And I have to say that I'm confused at, like, which side to take, right? Obviously, Candace is my girl. She like my sister. And Megyn Kelly, I like her, but she ain't like my sister. However, I see both sides, and I feel like Megyn Kelly has a point. Candace Owens has a point. Megyn Kelly's point does not look better than Candace Owens' point on social media whatsoever. I'm just being honest. Megyn Kelly's argument is that these people are supporting terrorists. They support Hamas. It's totally fine to not hire them. It's totally fine to blacklist them. Candace's argument is that, do you hold this against these ignorant college students that are being spoon-fed terrorism and lies and deception, and they don't even know what they're talking about. Many people in college, when they were in college, didn't know what they were talking about. You catch me in college, I would have been a Black Lives Matter supporter. I was a Democrat in college. I supported Obama. You know, so all of these things, if you go back and blacklisted me from then, and now I'm completely different, I think very differently because I was exposed to the truth. Do you hold that against me? Candace Owens said she was pro-choice when she was younger. Do you hold that against her? And so these ignorant college students that have the brain of a gnat, do you hold that against them? Now, my mother-in-law, she changed my whole perspective on this thing. I was 100%, Candace Owens is way more of an intelligent argument than Megyn Kelly. But then my mother-in-law said, these people are supporting a terrorist organization. Do Jewish people have to hire them? And it made me think like, well, wait a minute. That would be a conflict for a person who's a Jewish person that owns a corporation, a company, or a chain of companies. You're going to hire these people that are supporting trying to support the extinction of the Jewish people? How far are they willing to go?
And we will talk about the history. I just want to finish with the values first, because it's just amazing to me that the American left, so much of it, throws their lot in with people whose values, I hope they don't share, but let's go through them. Because values and customs make a difference, okay? And the people of Gaza, by the way, if the Israelis did get rid of Hamas, they'd be doing a giant favor to the people of Gaza who hate Hamas too. But let's just go through the lists. Because the Israelis look like us in most ways, values-wise. Maybe we're not doing it the right way. I don't know. Religious tolerance. That doesn't exist in Gaza. You're either Muslim or an infidel, and you better be a Muslim. Female freedom. Free and fair elections. Free speech. Gay rights. I see these Queers for Palestine.
Did you hear their sister organization, Blacks for the KKK?
It's like...
By the way, I'm a gay man. I've lived in Berlin. This is a level of masochism that even I cannot comprehend.
Right. I mean...
You know what? I'm going to just...
can I just finish my list? Pedophilia, I'll put that under don't ask. Child brides and so forth. Equality of the sexes, I'll categorize that under don't make me fucking laugh. The fact that, you know, these people think that this is where they should be aligned with, that these are the values that you support?
I think this past week has been a real important moment for a moral reckoning on the American left. Because there is a small, and I'm going to emphasize that, a very small but growing and extremely loud faction on the American left that has revealed itself.
I don't know how small anymore.
Okay, well, I mean...
it was all over. It was...
Well, we just had a conversation about the algorithm, right? And I think you have a few groups. You have some college groups. You have some activist groups.
It's college.
We often say that these people are just college students and they're ignorant, but how far do their ignorance go? Are these kids susceptible to being radicalized by Hamas terrorists or Hezbollah or any one of these other terrorist groups that are out there? Are these young, ignorant fools susceptible to being brainwashed into acts of violence in the name of? So why would a Jewish person do that? It's almost the same way as if a person was coming out and saying they hate black people and they hope every black person leave America and they sick of these N-words. And then black businesses are saying, I ain't hiring nobody thinking like that. And then people are arguing, well, no, they just dumb right now. Wait a minute. Would that be acceptable? If somebody was using the N-word and saying, get rid of these, black people have no right to live in these areas. These were white-owned areas. The white people were here before black people came on slave boats. You know, all of these things. Or even if it was natives that had an out against black people and calling them the N-word and saying we need to eliminate. You want people like that working in your company? That literally hate your existence? Then I get it. Then I say maybe it's okay for companies to have a choice to say, look, we don't want people like that working for us. So it's a very touchy subject, and I could talk for 3 hours about this, but I just had to put my heart out there. Like, people get so sensitive about the innocent people in Palestine. These people voted for Hamas. By and large, the majority voted for Hamas. So not everybody is against Hamas that lives in Palestine. Not everybody's against what they did. Now, that retaliation, that burn, it hurt. But if they could overcome Israel, would they be cheering it on? If innocent people lost their life in Israel, the Israelis, the Jews, if Christians, whoever live in Israel, if they lost their lives, innocent people, would they cheer them on? That's the question that we need to be talking about. And there's collateral damage that's going to occur in things like this, but it's absolutely necessary. There's nobody on planet Earth that can convince me otherwise. When people come into your country and kill innocent people for no reason, you have to eradicate them by all means. And you have to do it with strategy. You have to do it with mitigating innocent lives being lost. But you cannot hold back. You cannot play the fence. You cannot let them do that. They took hostages, and then you just let them do that every time. They kill your people, they take hostages, and you negotiate. They kill your people, they take hostages, and you negotiate. Then what's next? They kill your people, then they come from the north, the south, and the west, and they try to remove your existence, and then they take hostages, and then you want to negotiate. At some point, there is no negotiation. They don't want peace. They want extermination. I don't understand how people don't understand this. This is a religious war. This is not a moral war. It's a religious war. The existence of Jews is antithetical to the Muslims. It is. I don't care what nobody say. It 100% is. And then I'll leave it at this, and I'm going to get up off here. I'm just pointing out the obvious. You look at the Muslim countries. What's the most dangerous religion in the world? Do I need to say it, or do you already know? The most dangerous religion in the world. Look at the atrocities that are happening in these countries against their own people. The Muslim religion still have slaves to this day. Northern Africans are enslaved by Muslims today. Now, Muslims in America may be much different. They live a different life. They want peace. They want to be an American, many of them. They don't want to be mutilating genitalia from women. They don't want to have a woman wrapped up like a blanket, like a pig in a blanket. And then they don't have any rights or nothing. They can't drive cars. They can't talk. They get to get whooped on the street if they dress ain't long enough. They commit adultery, accused of committing adultery. They get stoned to death. They throwing gay people out buildings. What other religious group do that? Name them. Name another religious group that throw gays off buildings. Do Israelis do it? Does Jews do it? And Israeli is not a religion, but the Jews that are in Israel, do they do it? Do the Christian nations do it? Name it. Name another religion. The female mutilation, where they cut off the, you know what, so women can't have stimulation. So when they have intercourse, it's numb to them. They have no pleasure in sex. Female mutilation, they do it all throughout Islam in many of these big Islamic run countries. Where are all the terrorist groups at? Where the Christian terrorist group? Where's the Jewish terrorist group? They don't exist. So we're not having a battle of moral versus moral. Who's right, who's wrong? It's evil, and I wouldn't say versus good. It's just evil versus people that want to coexist, people that want to live their life, people that want to be free, people that want to live in an amicable society for their own people. But the goal is to eradicate them. If there was no Iron Dome, there would be no Israel. There would be no Jews at all. And if they could take over Israel and they can control the region and they had enough money and resources, there would be no Western civilization. They would take over Europe, they would take over America, and the whole world would be controlled by Sharia law. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. It is in the Quran. All right. Let me move on from this. I love you guys. I'll see y'all in the next video. Get you one of these shirts. I'm out.